This is a story about a boy that was rejected, but fate refused to forget. Sit back and watch how his life turned into a tale no one ever expected. They said Osando was born with something strange tied to him. When the midwife caught his umbilical cord, it coiled like a snake inside a bowl. She stepped back in fear. "This isn't normal," she whispered. Osando didn't cry like other babies. He wasn't weak, just too quiet, like he already knew something no child should. His father, Obuefi, was a respected man in Umuchu town. He had strong yams, healthy goats, and never lost a harvest. He didn't want anyone saying his son was cursed, so he built an altar for Osando, a sacred place to connect the boy to his personal spirit. He placed it behind his house near a kola tree. He added white feathers and poured on wine and honey as offerings. But something was wrong. The wine disappeared too fast, like something invisible drank it. The feathers sank into the soil on their own. Even ants and chickens avoided the place. Neighbors noticed, but no one would say anything. They stopped visiting as often. The trees beside the altar stopped blowing fruit. Wind around the compound made strange sounds like whispers. By the time Osando turned tree, he started talking to things no one else could see. At 5, doing moon rituals, he would freeze like a statue. Once, he walked into the forest alone and came back with clean sheets. Not even a speck of dust. The elders told Wevi to make bigger sacrifices. He killed a rare goat with 4 horns. Still, the tree altar stayed empty. On Osando's 7th birthday, his mother gave him a wooden staff wrapped in white cloth. "Hold this when you sleep," she said. "Let the spirit see who you are." That night, Osando had a dream. A woman made of clay appeared. Her eyes were wide and hollow. She said only one thing: "You were not named by the gods." In the morning, his mother sat him down. She told him the truth. "You have no chi, my son. In Omuchu town, this is not just bad. It means your spirit guide has rejected you. You belong to no path, no destiny, no protection." And people feared what a child like that would become. After the truth came out that Osando had no chi spirits, things changed fast. Children stopped playing with him. Mothers pulled their babies away when he walked by. Even birds seemed quiet when he passed. His father, Obuefi, became more distant. He stopped speaking during meals. He would stare at Osando like a man counting the days before his death. But Osando kept dreaming. Every night he saw things, strange things. He saw a long path lit with fire. At the end of it stood a tall figure with many faces, one smiling, one crying, one bleeding. The figure wore masks, and each mask whispered a different name. One night, the masked figure spoke clearly. "Come to the grove behind the stream. Come along." Osando woke with his bedsheet soaked in sweat. He waited till dawn, then followed the path behind the house. The grove was silent, too silent. No wind, no sound, not even frogs. He stepped in. There, hanging a low branch, was a single wooden mask, cracked down the middle, painted red and black. He reached for it. The moment his fingers touched it, a sharp pain shot through his body. Visions filled his eyes. He saw his village in flames. He saw his mother screaming. He saw his older self standing alone, holding the same mask and surrounded by spirits. Then, everything went dark. When he woke up, the mask was gone, but on his left palm, a strange mark had appeared, a straight cut. He told no one about this. That week, a drought began in Omuchu town. The rains refused to fall. The elders called the Dibia the village diviner. The Dibia threw his cowries on the floor. He frowned. "There is a boy among you," he said. "His chi spirit is not called. It was coming from that." The elders were silent. Then someone whispered, "Osando." The Dibia nodded slowly. "If he does not return what was taken, the land would dry. The gods will turn their back." Obuefi stood up. "What boy is not my son anymore?" Osando heard it all. He packed a small clutch, took the white wrap staff his mother gave him, and walked towards the forbidden forest. The wind seemed to guide him, and the deeper he went, the louder the voices came. Osando walked deeper into the forest. The trees grew stranger. Some twisted like ropes. Others bent towards him as if they were watching. He didn't know how long he walked, but time no longer felt real. When he stopped, He stood before a massive tree with sages carved all over it. At the base of the tree sat an old woman. Her hair was like dried leaves. Her eyes were white. "I've been waiting," she said. Osondo didn't speak. She pointed to the staff in his hand. "That staff is not just wood. It carries a question." The gods refused to answer. Then she stood and walked around him slowly. "They thought you would die young. That's why your chi was stolen before you were born. But you lived, and now the land is suffering because your name doesn't match your soul." "What must I do?" Osondo asked. The woman smiled. Her teeth were red. "Find the name keeper." "Who is that?" She didn't answer. Instead, she held out a bowl of black water. "Drink, and you will see the first memory." He drank. Then darkness, vision. He saw his mother, pregnant, walking alone at night. She met a man near the river, but it wasn't a man. His eyes were gold. His voice sounded like many voices. He touched her belly and said, "Let this child be mine." Osondo dropped the bowl. It cracked. He was breathing hard. "What did I see?" he asked. The woman's voice sounded cold. "You are not only the son of Obweshi, you carry the spirit of Iquinsu, the trickster who walks between God and the man." Osondo turned to run. "Wait!" she shouted, but the forest had already shifted behind him. He ran, but every path led him back to the tree of faces. That night, Osondo slept by the tree. The faces whispered in his dreams. One said, "Return the mask." Another said, "Break the staff." But the loudest voice said nothing. It just breathed. When morning came, the old woman was gone. In her place was a clay pot with ash and feathers inside. He picked it up. A voice in his head said, "Take this to the river Uchu." He walked for 2 days. When he reached the river, the waters were still. He knelt, opened the pot, and poured its contents in. The river hissed as if something angry had been woken. From the water arose a man made of bone and mud, wearing a necklace around his neck. "You carry a name not given by the god," the creature said. "I want my true name," Osondo said. The creature laughed. "Then bring me what was stolen. Bring me your true chi." "But I don't know where it is." "You do," it said. "It hides in the one who carried you." Osondo's breath caught in his throat. "My mother?" The creature sank into the water without another word. That night, Osondo sat by the riverbank, shaking. If his chi was stolen, and if his mother had carried the thief inside her, what did that make him? A boy born of no name, searching for a soul, stolen before his trust great, and now, to fix the land, he might have to confront the one who gave him life. But something else was already moving in Omojo. The drought had worsened. Goats stopped giving birth. Crops withered in the ground. Children showed sick, and sight dogs began again. Osondo recalled who, late that night. The moon was high, but the whole village felt quiet. Too quiet. He walked slowly to his mother's hut. When he knocked, she opened the door and stared at him. "You went to the river," she said in a low voice. "I know the truth," Osondo replied. "You carried something that wasn't human." Her eyes dropped. She sat down on the floor. "Before I met your father, I went to the river," she began. "I met someone there. He was not a man. He had no shadow." His voice echoed, even in silence. She paused. "I didn't know what he truly was until you came. I refused to cry like other babies. You didn't open your eyes until the 7th day." Osondo stepped back from her in disappointment. "I begged the gods to fix it. I went from shrine to shrine with no solution. They only told me one thing. Your name is not of this world." "You didn't just lie to my father," Osondo said. "You lied to the gods." "I did it out of fear," his mother said. Osondo didn't say another word. He turned around and began to walk away. "Where are you going?" she called after him. "To call my chi, even if it kills me." She did not follow him because deep down, she knew some children are born with blessings, some with curses, but a few are born to rewrite the laws between gods and men. Osondo climbed the tall hill that was between Omochu and their neighboring village. The villagers, the elders, they all called it Hill of Silence, a place where spirits listened and men shared to speak. He carried only 3 things: the broken scarves from his father's shrine, his mother's necklace, and the small clip was sealed with feathers and ash. When he reached stop, he dug a small hole with his bare hands. He placed all 3 items inside. Then he took out a sharp stone and caused his palm. Blood dripped into the hole. "I was born without Gechi," he said. "I call it now. Let it return." The ground shook. Wind hollowed. The trees bowed. A voice came from the edge. "Give up your memory of your mother or remain nameless forever." He paused. Then, without another word, Osando broke the staff in halves. The ground cracked open. A blinding white flame shot out. From that fire stepped an old man. He looked exactly like Osando, but his eyes glowed like burning coal. "Why did you call me?" the chief asked. "Because I am done running." The spirit old man walked forward and touched Osando's chest. In that moment, they became one. The small cords returned to Osando's palm, but this time it glowed. The next morning, and for the first time in many years, rain fell. Obuju saw real rain. The drought ended. People danced in the square. Elders called it a miracle. But then, when they asked who called the rain, no one answered until one old woman came forward. "He went to the hill of silence," she said. "He walked alone, and he came back with a mat." Whispers filled the gathering. "The boy without Echi, the son of a spirit." Soon, elders called him. They tested him. Right in their presence, he touched dry leaves, and they caught fire. He stood beside a sick child, and the child stood up. The people were amazed. The chief priests of the land gathered, and after many signs and dreams, they chose him to be the next chief priest of Onwucho, the youngest in history. He wore white robes. He carried the staff of thunder. From far villages, people came to see him. Women brought their children. Thieves brought their gifts. Even warriors bowed before him. People who once mocked him now begged to speak with him. Some even offered their daughters hand in marriage, hoping to tie their families to his power. His name spread like fire. They called him the destined child, the one whom made the spirits listen. But Osando stayed calm. He never forgot the day his mother told him he had no chi. Now he stood as the voice of the gods, no longer cursed, no longer lost. He had earned everything back with his blood, his pain and courage, and so the lineage that once shamed him now sang his name. A boy who was once cursed, now crowned by the gods. If you enjoyed watching this story, like, share, drop your comment, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more interesting stories. Thank you for watching. See you in the next story.